I don't know where you've looked. I don't know what you've looked for. But Jesus is saying to you in this moment, I am the anointed one. I am the one you are looking for. I'm going to be talking today about be that woman despite of your past. So many of us have past, and so many women think, I can't be that woman because of what I've done in my past. You know what? That is a lie. And I want to introduce you to a woman who made this transition so you can make that transition. And she is found in John chapter 4. I'm going to read again out of the Passion Translation. John 4:1. Soon the news reached the Jewish religious leaders, known as the separated ones, that Jesus was drawing greater crowds of followers coming to be baptized than John. Although Jesus didn't baptize, but had his disciples baptize the people. Jesus heard what was being said and abruptly left Judea and returned to the province of Galilee. And he had to pass through Samaritan territory. This is going to be the story of the Samaritan woman. Jesus arrived at the Samaritan village of Sychar, near the field that Jacob had given his son Joseph long ago. Wearied by his long journey, he sat on the edge of Jacob's well. He sent his disciples into the village to buy food, for it was already afternoon. Soon, a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink of water." Surprised, she said, "Why would a Jewish man ask a Samaritan woman for a drink of water? Jews won't even drink from a cup that a Samaritan has used." Jesus replied, "If you only knew who I am and the gift that God is wanting to give you, you'd be asking me for a drink, and I would give to you living water." The woman replied, "But sir, you don't even have a bucket, and this well is very deep. Where do you find this living water? Do you really think that you are greater than our ancestor Jacob, who dug this well and drank from it himself, along with his children and livestock?" Jesus answered, "If you drink from Jacob's well, you will be thirsty again and again. But if anyone drinks the living water I give them, they will never thirst again and will be forever satisfied. For when you drink the water I give you, it becomes a gushing fountain of the Holy Spirit, springing up and flooding you with endless life." The woman replied, "Let me drink that water so I'll never be thirsty again and won't have to come back here to draw water." Jesus said, "Go get your husband and bring him back here." "But I'm not married," the woman answered. "That's true," Jesus said. "You've been married 5 times, and now you're living with a man who is not your husband. You have told the truth." I want to pause there. You know, so many teachers talk about this woman and they say, scandalous, married 5 times, and now she is living with a man who is not her husband. This is a horrible woman. But I'm going to propose that this is a desperately thirsty woman. We need to remember the women were not the ones that initiated the divorce. This woman had been married and put away by 5 husbands, rejected so many times, scorned by her Samaritan city, that she was willing to live with a man who would not even make a covenant with her. This is a desperate woman. And Jesus is about ready to pour life into this desperate woman. He goes on to, the woman says, "You must be a prophet. So tell me this, why do our fathers worship God here in this nearby mountain, but your people teach that Jerusalem is the place where we must worship? Which is right?" And Jesus responded, "Believe me, dear woman, the time has come when you won't worship the Father on the mountain nor in Jerusalem, but in your heart. Your people don't really know the one they worship. We Jews worship out of our experience, for it is from the Jews that salvation is made available. From here on, to worship the Father is not a matter of the right place, but the right heart. For God is a spirit, and he longs to receive sincere worshipers who worship and adore him in the realm of spirit and in truth. You know, this was a woman, had a jaded, dark past, but she had a deep, desperate longing. What else would cause a woman who is drawing water to introduce worship into a conversation with a Jewish man who wouldn't normally even talk to a Samaritan? I don't know what your past looks like, but I do know that I could be likened to this Samaritan woman. I was a young girl who was desperate for something more. I had tried drinking, I had tried partying, I had tried going out with guys, but it left me more and more empty. It just highlighted my desperate longing for something that would refresh me. And when this woman hears that Jesus has living water, then she begins to lean in to what he is saying for her. Most women wouldn't have leaned in. Most women would have said, I'm ashamed. You know, I am not married. I have 5 husbands. You know what? I'm just going to draw my water and leave right now. But she pressed in. And I don't know what your desperate longing is, but I need you to press in like this woman pressed in. He goes on to say, the woman said, this is all so confusing, but I do know that the anointed one is coming, the true Messiah. And when he comes, he will tell us everything we need to know. Jesus said to her, you don't have to wait any longer. The anointed one is here speaking with you. I am the one you are looking for. I don't know where you've looked. I don't know what you've looked for. But Jesus is saying to you in this moment, I am the anointed one. I am the one you are looking for. God is more than willing to eradicate your past and fill that void, that deep longing, that desperate dark place with living water and his light. Just let him. He's the one speaking to you right now. Just say, Jesus, give me this living water. I'm going to be that woman who knows how to leave behind her past and declare you the Lord of my life.